সো আর খুব বেশি জিনিসও এখন দেখানো যাবে না, জাস্ট আমরা কন্টিনিউ করি। আচ্ছা, সো হাউ মেনি অফ ইউ কুড ডু দ্য অ্যাসেম্বলি? ওকে, so if we just see our the files, the read split that we had, if we see that file, it is like this one. It does not have I mean very big length, and it was named as split 1 2 3 something. But if we now try to see the config file, the config file is inside the new empty array, the big C, then contigs. It is little lengthier, right? It is a contiguous sequence. It's not splitted like the other one. So this is the assembled sequence that we are looking for. And if we want to see the scaffold, so you can see that the scaffolds are much larger. We can see it in from another view. You can try to use the grep command. So just grep space dash C. Let's see the split file, the first one that we were trying to assemble. So it had 451 lines. Then if we want to see the config file that we generated, it has only 781 sequence. So all the 451 individual sequence, those are now assembled, and it generated not only one sequence, but it generated 781 sequence. And if we want to see how is the scaffold, so in the scaffold, there is also 781 file. So there is no 781 sequence. So there is no difference between the config and the scaffold for this assembly. Why? Because all the read inside the read split file, we had only the single end sequencing file. There was no paired end. So there was no question of doing the scaffolding, because to do the scaffolding, we need the paired end read so that we can assemble that and fill up the gaps. So to do the scaffolding, we can use another tool, which is named as S-Space. This tool is available in the in the GitHub. You all know the GitHub is a GitHub. You can download it from there also, but I have uploaded it in the Slack channel, the course material channel. So you can download it from there also. It's named as the S-Space basic main.tar. So you can just download it and have it from there. So to use that file, to use the do the scaffolding or the S-Space, we will use the rest of the file. which was, you can see that read split PE1. It's a pair end one, number 1 file. And the another is split. So could you understand the problem? What was the problem? Why we did not have the scaffold? I mean, why the config and the scaffold was of same length, same number? Because there was no paired end. There was no paired end file. So there was no information to fill up the gap. So config and scaffold both were the same number, same count. But if we want to do the scaffolding, normally we use the S space. That's another tool. And we can download it from the course material channel of the Slack. Here, the S space basic main tar. And then untar it, like tar. Something. Okay, so you can use this command to untar it or unzip it if you want. So tar, T-A-R, space dash XVF, and then the name. And then it will generate this folder, the S space basic main folder. And then you will enter this folder. After entering, you will get a Perl file. It's a script file, Perl script file that can be used to do the scaffolding. So for scaffolding, and for now on, we will use another tool which is named as S space, and you can download it from here and use it from here, the Perl script. So just try downloading, unzip or untearing it, and then see if you get this one. So এটা assembly পর্যন্তই continue হবে. Just scaffolding টা দেখ. How many of you could untar this one? Untar, and then you have that .pl files. Those are the Perl script, and you will need to run this. Do you know how to run a Perl script? You will have to write a command, the Perl, then a space, then call those PL file. Could you come to this end? I mean, then I will just quickly show because we don't have that much time. So the Perl, then S space. Oh, sorry. That's L. If you run only the Perl and then the file name, it will show you the usage. This is the command. Perl, then SS space basic version 2. So after calling the Perl file, then we will need to define the library file, because since we want to do the paired end file scaffolding. Okay, shall we take off now? I mean, do we need to proceed or we can just take off? We can just stop here and then go. You want to do the analysis. Okay. So after writing the Perl, then the Perl file name, then you have to indicate the library. So inside the library file, we have the information about the paired end library, because it was a 500 paired end library. So I will show you the library file later. -L, the library file is inside the assembly folder that you copied earlier. Like this. No, we do not need to install it. We will just use the Perl file here inside the folder. Inside the folder, there is a file called sspace.pl. Okay, so the library file that we downloaded earlier, we will need to use that library file here, library.txt. Can you check if your library file is like this one? So this is the library file, right? Right. So can you check if it is like this, like lib1, then read, or it has a BWA inside? I mean, is there anything written inside that lib1 and read? If it is written BWA, then just delete that BWA, delete the BWA. Otherwise, it will not run. Okay, so this is the library file. Its name is lib1, and it will use the split PE1 and split PE2 file to generate the scaffold. And the scaffold will get the information that it has 500 base pair library. Then S is the config FASTA file. So we have the config FASTA file inside the new empty. Then contigs. Like this, contigs FASTA file. And after putting these options, it will write the new scaffold inside this folder, -b nwsc all. This is the new folder where it will write the scaffold. So where are we putting that? এখানে আছে, Where are we putting the read name? Inside the library.txt file. So inside the library.txt file, we have this information that the library name is lib1. It will take the information for read split P1 and read split P2, and it is 500 base pair library. Now we can try running it. It is saying that lib1 something something fatal. Why is it saying so? Because our library file is in another folder. The FASTA is also in another folder. So better we have all the files in the same folder. To do that, we can just copy the library and the FASTA files here. Okay, so what did I do? There was the error. It was previously showing error because the library file was in another folder and the read file was also in another folder, but the PL, the Perl file from which I am running the thing, it is in another folder. So what I did is I copied all the files in the same folder and then ran it, and then it ran well. So it's now, if you just put it in this way and then run it, press enter, then you can see that it has some files inside the new SCL. So it created this new SCL final scaffold.fasta, this file. And if we now see how many files, how many sequences are there, we will see that it's now 772 instead of 781, because earlier it could not make the scaffold because there was no paired end help, paired end read help. But now, since we gave it some paired end file to construct the scaffold, it is now showing less number of sequence, which is 772. For Linux environment, it is very important that you show them where the actual file is. You write the right address. So that's actually, we will end here today because there will be no time for the other analysis. Acha, parallel script Okay, so I think we can do this also in at night in your computer also, and we can discuss it over Slack if there is an error. But we need to go to another section now, so we can stop the learning now and enjoy the function, the cultural program. It will be in the auditorium. Maybe they can tell us properly. Rahat can tell us properly that where is the cultural function being taken place. And for today, thank you everyone.
আচ্ছা, কালচারাল অনুষ্ঠান হবে আমাদের গেস্ট হাউসের 2 তলাতে। হ্যাঁ, 6:30 থেকে। তো ইন দ্য মিন টাইম আপনার ইচ্ছা করলে এখানে কাজও করতে পারেন, অথবা ক্যাম্পাসটা একটু ঘুরে টুরেও দেখতে পারেন। 6:30 থেকে।